about the 16th lesson. What is the lesson? National movement in India, partition and independence. That is also from 1939 to 1947. Means the last phase of our independence. National movement in India means usually what comes into our mind, that is non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, like this the movements will come. How these incidences that happened in between the period 1939 to 1947 forced the Britishers to give independence to us. This is the main theme of the lesson. So what is that we are learning in here? We are learning the last phase of our independence, that is from 1939 to 1947. So first of all, what are the different incidences that happened in the world during this particular period? Very important incident is 1939 to 1945 Second World War. So this particular lesson is in the scenario of before the World War and after the World War. So first of all, 1935, during 1935, due to the civil disobedience movement and due to all the several agitations that raised in India, the Britishers, they have to decide that at least up to certain extent they should give self-rule to Indians. So they wanted to give self-rule, and for that to give self-rule means what they should give that right, the right of electing a government. Hence they have passed one act, that is Government of India Act 1935 was passed. In the year 1935, that is Government of India Act 1935. So according to this Government of India Act 1935, in the year 1937, elections were to be conducted. Elections were to be conducted for both the provinces and also for the Central Assembly. You remember, children, that at that particular time we have the British crown ruling our country, and the British crown, they have established the Viceroy, and under the Viceroy, that is Central Assembly, Viceroy and the executive members are the highly intellectuals forming into a one committee. So this particular group, we call that as a cabinet. That central cabinet along with the Viceroy, they form the Central Assembly, and the provinces like Bengal province, Madras province, or the United Provinces, like this, these provinces, these are the different parts. Along with them, the native princely states were also there, like Hyderabad state. They have the native ruler. Like this, different divisions were there at that particular period. How many are there? 3 divisions were there. First one is the Central Assembly, the second one is the Provincial Assembly, both governed by the British, and the third one is the native rulers. Like this, this was the division in the country. And at that particular time, what happened? They wanted to conduct elections such that at least up to certain extent the local rule or local people will govern them. And hence they have conducted elections in the year 1937. Accordingly, they have awarded 12% of the votes for the provincial assembly. See here, they did not give the right to vote for all. They have given the right to vote only for 12% of the people for the provincial assembly elections, and for the central assemblies only 1%. Only 1%. Like this, you can see very clearly that 12% and 1% means not at all a considerable amount. But even then, many of the, because at that particular time many of the people are illiterates, and even then the people, they have participated in the elections, and Congress won decisively 8 provinces, the 8 provinces were won by Congress out of 11 provinces. Out of 11 provinces, 8 provinces were won by the Congress. That means here you can see very clearly that Congress is able to get the majority, and hence Congress is able to form the government with even a prime minister. Like this, the result has proved that Congress has lots of following among the mass or among the people. This is the main result during this 1937, and at that particular time already the bells, the alarming bells were there given by Hitler that we are going to face another world war. By looking on to that, now the Indians, they have to think whether we should support the British or not. Should we support the British in the Second World War or not? And here the arguments are both sided. If we want independence, if you promise us independence, we will support you. Like that we wanted to ask. This is one side. And the second side is, if we support the other side, if we don't support British, if we support the other side, we can fight against the British and win the independence. These are the two options that are there with us. Now at that particular time, many of the Congress leaders, they are not at all willing to support the argument in favor of fighting against British with the help of Germany or Japan or Italy, other countries or Axis powers. What is the reason? See children, here the most important thing is, if we support the Axis powers, already Nazism and this fascism, how much destruction it has caused in the world already you know. You know very well that thing. Means what is happening here, this Nazism or fascism, how cruel they were, how they have taken away the lives of the people, those who are living in the minority status. Especially you might have observed that how the Jews were persecuted by the Nazis. At the same time, we have also observed that how inhumanly these Nazis, they have established the Auschwitz centers and were taking away the lives of the physically and mentally weak people. Because you remember that Hitler's statement. Hitler states very clearly that this nation belongs to only strongest. Means what? Those who are strong, those who are physically and mentally strong only are having the right to live in the country. Then the other people, those who are not, they should die. And in the name of that, lots and lots of execution was held by these Nazis. So by looking on to all those things, the Indian Congress leaders, they were thinking that if we support the Axis powers, means we are supporting the inhuman attitude. Whom should we support? Should we support these cruel Nazis against the British? This is the main question that was there in the minds of the Congress leaders. So finally Congress has decided that, okay, let us support the Britishers, but with a condition. What is that condition? That the Britishers should give us independence immediately after the Second World War. This is the condition with which they wanted to fight against these Nazi forces. Now like this the Congress were thinking, but see here, the thing is, these Britishers, they did not even consult the Indians before announcing that the Indians would be supporting the British. This is the dilemma in the minds of the Congress. And now what is the dilemma in the minds of the Britishers? Even Britishers also have certain dilemmas. They are able to see that how Congress was fighting for the self-rule, how Congress people are fighting for the self-rule, and all these things they are able to see. So now they wanted to fight or they wanted to get a complete compromise with the Congress. But the Congress is not ready. Congress is not ready. Now they are able to see that if they call Congress for any discussions, whether they will participate or not, immediately Congress leaders would raise would raise one particular condition. What is that? That is, you give us independence immediately after Second World War, then only we will support you. Like that they are going to put a condition. So unnecessarily, why to take risk? Because the Britishers, they have established a vast empire since 200 years onwards. Now to lose this vast empire, leave all these resources and going back away, this is really something that melts their hearts. See, I know that this is not mine. I know. that this particular apple is not mine, for example, but it was there on the table for a long time. I have been using that apple every day. I am coming and taking the apple every day, one apple. Suddenly what happened, that particular person, one for example, one of you, that is Swati, she has come and she started saying that, madam, these apples are mine, madam, please give away. Means how I will feel? I know that that is not mine, but even then, when Swati demands that, I start feeling that I need to give back. Like that I will feel or not. In the same manner, even the Britishers also, they started feeling that this India is mine, this India is mine for a long time. And now all of a sudden they have to give away this India, they have to go back, means that really hurts them. And that is why they were not in favor of giving complete independence to India. At that particular time, actually, Britain, it was ruled by all-party government. It is headed by the conservative leader Winston Churchill. So, it is headed by the conservative leader Winston Churchill. So, Churchill actually he is not in favor of giving independence to India. On any condition, he wanted to postpone that. But at the same time, the Labour Party, which is there in Britain, they are somewhat sympathetic. They were somewhat sympathetic towards the Indians. They started feeling that at least we should consider some of the terms and conditions of the Indians. Like that, they were having somewhat a sympathetic view. Of course, they are also not ready to give complete independence to India. And at that particular time, what happened? The Britishers, with this attitude, they have announced dominion status to India. What did they announce? They have announced dominion status. What do you mean by dominion status? Dominion status means, you can see here children, dominion status means, see, a particular domain is subdued by another one. That means what is happening here, our India is there. India will be given some powers to rule itself. But at the same time, this is completely governed by the Britishers. Then what is the use of giving self-rule to India? If we get complete independence, then we can take our own decisions. But it is not so, and always India has to be a part of Britain, and Britain, whatever that it dictates, that only will continue, means that is really causing a trouble. And hence, this particular dominion status was rejected by the Congress leaders. Dominion status was rejected by the Congress leaders. They started saying that, no, we want complete independence, we want complete freedom. Until and unless you give complete freedom to us, there is no other alternative. We don't want any other alternative. Like that they started saying. Now the Britishers, they have observed very keenly how the Congress were raising their demands, how the Congress was representing for the total independence of the country. Now they understood this, yes, now the Congress is becoming very, very, very strong. That is, what is the doubt that they have started raising? That how can we give independence to India when Congress, who is the representative of the Hindus who are there? If that is so, if we give independence, Congress would become, means Congress may become the ruler with which only Hindus will be benefited. What about the other communities like Muslims? See the question raised by the British. What about the other communities like Muslims? Means Muslims are also having a right to have the rule in India. But here what is happening? Congress is demanding, because it is having 8 out of 11 provinces and has formed the government. No? When Congress is governmenting that, Congress would form, means what about the Muslim communities? Like that they have raised the doubt. And with this, what happened? With this rise of the doubt, the Britishers, they are able to raise the doubts in the minds of the Muslim League. See, how cleverly, by raising one single question, how intelligently they have manipulated the ideologies of the Muslim League. Did you see this? So with this the Muslim League started thinking, yes, if Congress is the ruling party of India, what about us? The Muslim League, don't we have any right? Don't we have the choice of becoming the ruler of India? Means if Congress is not there, Muslim League may form the government. So like that they started thinking. With this what happened? Until then Congress and Muslim League both were cooperative with each other. But now by raising this doubt, the Congress and Muslim League were very conveniently separated by the Britishers. Like this, the Britishers, by using the policy of divide and rule policy, by using this divide and rule policy, they are able to divide the unity among the Muslim community and the Congress. Now here you may have a doubt. Why this Muslim League has got that particular doubt? Because previously it is working with Congress, no? When Britishers said that, why immediately they started feeling that, yes, we should also, like that, why they have got the doubt? Definitely you can see this, that Muslim League, it is not a political party in the beginning. Muslim League was established in the year 1906 to represent the interest of the landlords of UP. Means the landlords of UP and United Provinces in this region, they wanted to represent the interest of the landlords, that's all. But they are not representing the Muslims. They did not feel like that. But when they are representing in the United Provinces, they started saying that we want separate seats for the Muslims to represent the interest of the Muslims. See here, we want separate seats for the Muslims to represent the interest of the Muslims. Means what? They wanted the reservations. When the reservations are there, some certain seats are reserved for the Muslims. The Muslim people will give their votes to this Muslim League. Then Muslim League also can win that, and like that they can represent the Muslim interest in the assembly. See here, very clearly we can observe one thing. What is that is, suppose in this class, you see in this class, we have 20 girls and 30 boys. When there were elections for the leader, usually a boy will get elected because 20 votes may be got for the girl, 30 votes are got by the boys. Then what happens? Only boys would become the leader every time. The boys, they may not know the needs of the girls. So the representation of the girls may not be there when they are not elected. This is the contention of the Muslim League. See, this is the right contention. 30 Hindus are there, 20 Muslims are there, for example. When the elections are conducted, definitely a Hindu leader only will get elected. Then the Muslims, when they are not elected, what happens? The Muslims representation may not be there. When Muslim representation is not there, their interest cannot be protected. This is the contention of the Muslim League, and even Congress also has accepted this. Is correct only. So that is the year 1909 they have accepted that, and accordingly a separate electorate was provided. Separate electorate for Muslims and for Hindus, like that. Separate electorate was provided for the Muslims. But see, when the elections were conducted in the year 1937, in that Muslim League, they won only 102 seats out of 482 seats. There were 482 seats, but they won only 102 seats. That also, where they have won that, they won those seats from United Provinces, that is this Uttar Pradesh, Bihar region, Bombay and Madras. That means in South Madras, in the, that is in the north, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and these regions, and in south only Maharashtra, that is Bombay. You can see very clearly where Pakistan is now existing. Pakistan is now existing in the northwest part of our country, but there they did not win decisive seats. Means where actually from where the Pakistan was formed, in those regions we will not find the winning of the Muslim League. So northwest frontier province, there were no they did not win any decisive seats. And even in Bengal also, see here, Bengal has been divided into that East Pakistan and West Bengal, no? Even in that Bengal province also they did not win any seats. That shows very clearly that the Muslim League was not very strong during 1937 elections in the areas from where Muslim League demanded the formation of the Pakistan later. This is the scenario in the year 1937 elections. But immediately after 1937 elections, after that means 1937, when dominion status was promised by the British, and when they have raised the doubt, that is whether Congress was only representing all the people, what about the other communities like Muslims? Now they understood that, and they started participating very actively and mobilizing all the Muslim masses. And here we should also see the strategy of the Britishers. Until then, Britishers, they were giving importance or priority for the Congress, calling the Congress, talking to them like this. There were several negotiations. But for the first time, now they started downplaying the interest of the Congress and increasing the interest of the Muslim League. With this, the Muslim League, they have raised their importance, and the Muslim League slowly they have gained large seats by the year 1946 elections. How they are able to do that? All these things we will learn in the coming coming part of this lesson. This Congress, is it the sole representative of the total country? When they have raised the doubt, immediately Congress ministers, they got angry, and they started, they wanted to walk out of that. Hence, the Congress, they have decided to resign. 1937 elections, they have formed the government, and by 1939 they have resigned and they have come out. See here the standards that are followed by Congress. Here you can see very clearly that the activities of the Hindu Mahasabha or that Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha also promoted the Muslim League to think in a different manner. What are the incidences that make Muslim League to think in a negative manner about this Congress? What are the different incidences? The first one is the rejection of forming a coalition government. When Congress was forming a government in the United Provinces, at that particular time, Muslim League demanded that we should form a coalition government, because even Muslim League also has one number of seats, so they started saying that we both will form the government. When Muslim League demanded that, simply Congress has rejected that. Means here the Congress, they were thinking that the Congress were thinking that why unnecessarily forming the government when we have achieved the number of seats. And here the Muslim League, they started feeling that the Congress is not ready to cooperate with the Muslim League. They are not ready to form a government with the Muslims. Like that they started feeling. And the second thing is the activities of the Hindu Mahasabha and the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Actually, they wanted to bring so many social reforms in the society of India such that everybody can have an equal and justiciable life. And as a part of that, they started saying that India is a Hindu country. So the activities of Hindu Mahasabha were even supported by many of the Congress leaders. So here what happened, when Congress was supporting all these, these members, the Congress members, they are allowed to be the members of the Hindu Mahasabha. But whereas they were not allowed to be the members of the Muslim League. And this also has been raised by one of the particular person, that is Maulana Abdul Kalam. At that particular time, he raised that particular point. Why you are obstructing the Congress members to become a member in Muslim League, and why you are allowing the Congress members to be a part of the All India Hindu Mahasabha? This is also one Hindu party. And Muslim party you are not accepting, but Hindu party you are accepting. Like that, even in Congress only, one of the active Congress members, they raised the question. Immediately, the Congress has taken a decision to ban the membership of the Congress even into All India Hindu Mahasabha in the year 1938. So, 1938, a decision has been taken. Until then, Congress members, they are the members of All India Hindu Mahasabha also. But Congress never supported any religion. It was always saying that India is a nation that belongs to all the communities. It is not only the nation of the Hindus, but it is the nation of all the communities. So it is actively supporting all the people, but due to these two incidences, that is the non-acceptance of forming coalition government with Muslim League, first thing, and second thing is not allowing the Congress members to be the members of the Muslim League. By doing all these two, unknowingly, involuntarily, it happened, and this made the Muslims to think that the Congress members are supporting only Hindus. And by taking this reason, they actively mobilized all the Muslim masses to support the Muslim League in the politics. Like this, slowly the Muslim fears, the Muslim League, all these things have come into the state such that they started forming the demand for a separate nation. How and when, all these things we will come to know in the next session. But before that, let us see what we have learned today. We have learned, first thing is that during this war, should the Indians support the British or not? Indians should support the British, because Hitler is a great menace to the world. Instead of supporting this menace, let us support the British and get independence. This is the ideology. At that particular time, who are supporting the ideologies of the Indians? Labour Party. Who are ruling British? Britain was supported by the all-party government formed by the Churchill Conservative. And what did they offer? They have offered the Dominion status. What happened then? Immediately when Dominion status was offered, Congress got angry. They have resigned in the year 1939. Why they have resigned? Because the Britishers, they raised a question that, is this Congress the sole representative of all the masses of India? And the second thing is, Muslim League was formed in the year 1906, representing the interest of the rich landlords of the United Provinces. And even in the year 1937, 102 seats out of 482 seats were won. At that particular time, Congress won 26 seats out of 58 in Muslims. That means you can see, even in Muslims also, Congress has got somewhat power. Where the Muslim League has formed get the seats? United Provinces, Bombay and Madras, not in the regions from where Pakistan was formed in the year 1947. Why Muslim League was afraid? Muslim League was afraid because of the non-acceptance of Congress to form the coalition and non-acceptance of the Congress members to enter into the Muslim League. These are the different topics that we have learned. And next topics we will see in the next lesson. But children, before we go to that, we should understand and appreciate the role of Gandhiji. Gandhiji wrote a letter to Hitler. Do you know? One sentence I wanted to read out from the textbook. That is, I know that I am writing to you. You may not listen to me, but even then I should make an appeal. I should make an appeal and try. See that sentence. That means Gandhiji was in favor of the peace, not in favor of the war. Okay children, tomorrow we will continue. Thank you.